Oh, we're live. 0 to 60. Brew Macis, Matt McChesney. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. Happy Monday to everybody out there. But a great weekend with the Nugs going up 1-0, and Bree went to the game with her brother, so we'll be able to talk about that a little bit here at the beginning of the show. But we have a lot to dive into here, to say the least. So let's get going.
All right. Well, you wanted to point out the Lakers and Nuggets matchup, and you were quite fond of the "Who's Your Daddy" chant.
You're damn right I am.
I'm gonna play it then. Listen.
You were there. How cool was it?
It was pretty cool. I did cast some bets, though, before I went to the game. You want to get to our title sponsor of the show?
Absolutely. Look, BetOnline is our title sponsor. They do a great job of supporting the show. They've been the number one source for all of your summer sports wagering, news, notes, Major League Baseball, golf, the NBA and NHL playoffs. The Avs lost 7-6. The Nugs are up 1-0. The Avs are down 0-1. But you can get all your wagering news and notes off of BetOnline. They do a great job of making sure that you do it correctly as well. So you're betting from a point where you're strong. You're not betting to catch up on your bets. They do a good job of making sure that people don't chase their earnings. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to get in on all the action. You can use your computer, your phone, whatever. BetOnline is where the game starts, and it's where our show starts today here on a great Monday morning, talking about all things Mile High Sports, because this seems to be the mecca of all the sports entertainment here across the country. Colorado is a beacon for clicks, to say the least.
Definitely not talking about the Avs, though. That was an ugly loss. Terrell Hopkinson said they lose tonight. The Lakers season is done.
Yeah, that's facts. We're Nugget supporters around here, but the Lakers are done regardless. They can't beat the Nugs in a 7-game series. There's no way around this shit. You can't just go pick somebody up off the street. AD isn't just going to get tough, overnight. The banker, has been non-existent. So the Nuggets are better. They're deeper. Maybe the Lakers get one at home, so there's a game 5, which be cool because you'd be able to go to a game 5. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is 4 or 5 games.
No, I think it's 4. I think they
another sweep.
Yeah.
12 in a row.
Why not?
I like this.
AD's out there with his hands on his knees, can't keep up against the. That's what you get when your team is bought and it's old and it's withering away. They just can't keep up with the likes of Nikola Jokic.
And look, LeBron's greatness can't be really we're not sitting here and hating on the guy, but
we're not.
When you play as long as he's played, you should hold every record when you're that good, number one. Number two, I feel like he's holding an entire franchise hostage with how he's playing and the way that he dictates the coaches, the general manager's actions, and he wants his kid to come play with him, and that's his number one goal rather than winning titles. I'm sorry, but I'm a big Jordan guy and I'm a big Kobe guy, and I think LeBron's 4th or 5th on my list, because I would put Larry Bird over LeBron as well. So there's a lot of, and I'm not even talking about big guys. The centers have their own classification with Jokic and Kareem and Shaq and all those guys. So look, man, LeBron, I don't know if he's helping his legacy. He's still elite. He's still fun to watch every now and then, but I don't know, man. He looks like he needs to hang up the basketball shoes, to say the least, to me. And look, on Twitch and on YouTube, the super chats and the subs are open. We appreciate any and all support there. Thanks for everybody for watching and commenting and getting on the show all last week and moving forward this week. We got a great week of shows coming up for you here on 0 to 60, so we'll be getting into that as we go through the show today. But over on Twitch, we appreciate you. Over on YouTube, we appreciate you. So subs and super chats are open.
Mike Bundy seems to think that I'm lacking respect by not giving the Lakers one. I didn't give them one last year. And I don't understand why, as a worse team, they should get more respect this year.
Yeah, a lack of respect. I've earned the respect. Just because your logo says Lakers doesn't mean that they're the Laker teams of past. But I do think they probably get one at home. They were close last year getting one, and they just screwed it up. So if they get one, then they lose in 5. So it's either a gentleman's sweep or a sweep. But either way, you're getting a broom out.
All right. I still think the Who's Your Daddy chants are dumb.
I think the Who's Your Daddy chants are incredible. And the fact that you get to do it from a point of power against a hated rival. Because now the Lakers are a rival. The Lakers can say that the Nuggets aren't a rival. That's a lie. Right now, those two teams hate each other. I don't know if the Lakers should find somebody other than the Celtics as an embodied rival that they hate more than the Nuggets these days, which is where we want to be. So, I just think that, the whole who's your daddy thing and the talking shit to LeBron and the Davis stuff and Vic Lombardi, who was on the show last week, is one of the voices of the Nuggets off 92.5 Altitude. Everything he stirred up last year, especially at the parade, which was incredible. I think it's awesome, man. It takes everybody back to high school when you could talk a little bit of shit, and that's one of the fun things about sports.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the shit talking back and forth. I'm a fan of it. LeBron hit the ground pretty hard, and I was pretty excited about it. I don't want him to get hurt, but there's rivalry. There's being heated. Who's your daddy? I mean, I don't know. I never got into it, but maybe fantastic. I'll lean into it this year. Maybe, perhaps.
I bet you if you just chant it at the next Nugget game you go to, you feel pretty good.
I don't think so.
I think you should just try it. I bet you.
I don't think you're going to get me there, but
I bet you I can get you there.
All right.
How much you want to bet? What do you want to put on the fact that I can get you to say who's your daddy?
I don't know. You lose all the bets that we make.
Yeah, but I'm pretty confident on this one.
I'm not.
Feeling pretty confident on this one.
All right. Well, whatever. I did want to change directions a little bit because we've been waiting for what it feels like an entire month to see the Broncos' new uniforms after they tease them. We've obviously been waiting a lot longer than that. Matt's not happy about it. I, on the other hand, think that they're great. There's a look at the Mile High collection. There's a bunch of triangles smattered around these uniforms. The orange, I think, is impeccable. The white jersey with white pants would look really good. The navy helmet is matte, so that is an interesting concept. The white helmet looks good. The blue is interesting because it goes away from everything that we know. So I don't really know how to feel about them in the long run, but they don't look as bad as they could have.
I think they are disgusting. I mean, atrociously terrible. You have all these assets at your disposal, and this is what you parade out. The dark blue uniform with the white helmet is atrocious. It's atrocious. I mean, good God.
Tell me why.
It doesn't work. It's not working for me.
But
like the really super dark navy, it's not like the Broncos colors. Even when I played there, it's not that dark a navy. I don't like the.
You're wearing a dark navy sweatshirt right now.
This is not the same color as that. The insignia stuff on the back of the helmet is very Seattle Seahawks to me. It doesn't go over the full scale of the helmet. The little notches on the fucking numbers, it seems very gimmicky. The mountains on the sleeve are disgusting. I just think they have such an awesome color combo, and it's just so clean when it's nice and just normal. And look, I know you hate the fact that I'm an old head here, but these are fucking disgusting. And looking when you could do this, when they could parade this out, but they don't.
That's the throwback uniform.
So they'd rather have this.
What? How are you going to throw the throwback uniform out as the all-time jersey?
That's what they should be wearing all the time and have an alternate uniform.
No, it's not, because that's their throwback.
Oh my God! Well, then they need to do a better job where you put the
which one?
The new ones up, please. They need to do a better job than this then, because this is terrible. It's a bad look. The helmets didn't change. It's other than the 5280. Yeah, we get it. We're at a Mile High. Everybody's playing off that. The Nuggets play off of it. Makes it now the Broncos are playing off of it. The Avs are going to be next.
If the Broncos were a better team,
it's cool.
If the Broncos were coming off of a Super Bowl, would you give a fuck about what the uniforms look like?
I really care what the uniforms look like. You have to look good to play good, and I do not think that the gimmicky ass fucking uniform they just paraded out here is productive. In fact, I bet you in 2 years this shit's changed. How much you want to bet? Because I bet you the fans don't like this kind of shit either. I mean, they look. This is a really bad. I think the
people who don't like them are a lot
They look
more
like the
vocal.
Bears, bro. Like the white with the black, the blue pants and the dark blue helmet. That looks like a Chicago Bear uniform to me.
That's to show the versions of the combos that are available. I'm pretty sure they're going to wear the white
Well, this is their main three. This is what they're going to rotate with, and then they have different combos they can use. But they paraded out these three. So this orange and white combo is going to be your main home. The dark blue with the white helmet will be a change up. That's going to be your main away, the Chicago Bear uniform. But they could just go alternate and fucking parade out one of the cleanest uniforms in NFL history. It's like why the Seahawks don't do their clean ass uniform alternate. You can roll your eyes at you all you want, but you're 12 years old, just like everybody else in the chat here, and you guys don't know what you're talking about. The old uniforms are. There's a reason everybody ponders for the Kelly Green Eagle uniforms. There's a reason everybody wants the Seattle throwbacks. There's a reason everybody wants the Denver D throwbacks. But I'm telling you, when you're normal, they should have just kept the old school shit that I played in, that they've been playing in. If they're going to parade out this trash, this is terrible. Oh I mean, it is god fucking awful, man. It's as bad as the Jets before they changed this year. Like the Jets uniforms the last 4 or 5 years, trying to mix in the new school with the old 80s Jets uniform. It was terrible. They just went back to simple and clean this year, and it looks really good. Like less is more, man. The whole Falcon uniform with the ATL on it. This isn't a fucking Jermaine Dupri fucking music video. This is a professional football team. Again, less is more. They have such a clean ass combo. I don't know why they can't just go that way. I'm sorry, but sometimes just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. And I'm telling you, this is bad. This is fucking bad. Everybody in the comments, you like it? We look like, you know who we look like? Look like UTEP. We look like fucking UTEP. Like the miners. This is awful. Who came up with this shit?
I don't even want to have the conversation with you. KCYJ says this is just garbage. Good Lord, when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it just gets much worse.
Thank you, brother.
I hope he's talking about the uniforms. He could be talking about my, appearance. 300 Newski said
talking about you.
All the old uniforms look great on the modern cuts because now we actually get the colors and dyes right.
Hey, but kick ass. I agree. Thank you, 300 Newski. You're always chiming in, bro. He's a rag.
Newski.
Whatever. I can't prevent anyone's fucking name. Deal with it, dog. Thanks for fucking coming on the show, homie.
Yep,
appreciate you.
Appreciate your comments.
You knew what I was talking about, though. And explain that. So when I say something wrong, but you still know what I'm talking about, what is that called again? I guess it's all just the communication pattern, right? Because you told me about this shit. So when I say something like we're gonna go sit on the couch, and you say couch, but you know what I was saying.
No, it's like if you use a word or you say a word wrong or you mispronounce something,
which I do all the time.
That it's still, if the other person knows what you're saying, then you still communicate.
So if I say Pat Schumer and it's really Pat Shermer, you knew what I was talking about, though.
Yeah, and so. The difference there.
I suck at pronouncing people's names. I'm terrible at it.
I was just giving Newski his dues because he was nice enough to show up. It's all good. Newski, Nursky, 303.
You know what?
313.
You know what we look like?
All the same.
We look like we just copied the Nuggets uniforms. Like, why don't we throw some red into the fucking Bronco uniforms? You replace the orange with red, and it looks just like the Nuggets. Like the dark blue with the red and yellow. It's like the same shit.
I think that's the point.
What? That's a point.
Creating some synergy within the teams and.
So everybody just needs to have the same color cons. I mean, I dig that. I guess Pittsburgh, the fact that the Penguins, the Pirates, and the Steelers are all black and yellow is pretty cool. But that's what we're going for.
Maybe
I am so disgusted.
It's just
on top of the fact that the Broncos are going to be absolute trash next year and just maybe the worst team in the NFL, they should look like this.
It's just amazing.
They should look this terrible.
That of all the things that you could get worked up about and the stuff that I'm like, why doesn't this bother you? But this bothers you.
Yeah, man. You got to look good to play good. You can't show up looking like fucking a bunch of clowns just.
I think the guys like it. I think that the 24-year-old kids
I think they like getting checks.
Yeah.
That's why they like the uniform. I'd like it too if you were paying me to wear it. I haven't seen anybody over here supporting this dog shit. Anybody on social media other than Mario, who fucking, of course, he thinks they're fucking incredible. I'd love to hear what everybody at the Bronco party on Thursday night, Let's Talk Broncos, It has their draft party Thursday. Where?
It's at the Rock Bar and Grill. That's in
Everybody come down and check it out.
Smoky Hill. You can see it here. Watch party, a bunch of special guests. We'll have giveaways. There's some drink and food specials. That's April 25th, 5:30 to 10, or at least until the draft ends. I'm not going to stay longer than that. I'm old. But it's at the Rock Restaurant and Bar off of Smoky Hill in Aurora. Come see us. Come visit us. Come hang out, and we'll watch the draft, see what the Broncos do at 12. I'm still not convinced that they do anything, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be there with all of Let's Talk Broncos, all of our contributors. Matt's going to be there. We'll have a good time, so you got to stop by and come see us. Yeah,
it's going to kick ass. Make sure you come down. They do a great job on that show. So, but check this out. This is another thing from KCYJ. All my buddies that hate the Broncos have been clowning me all morning about their new jerseys. Yeah, bro. I'd imagine they have been clowning us. We look like a bunch of clowns. It's not hard not to fuck this up. Like the Raiders and the Chiefs don't go fuck up perfection. They've got great uniforms. Don't fuck it up.
The red and yellow looks like shit.
The red and yellow, the Chiefs uniforms are iconic and haven't changed forever, and they look great.
They're iconic because you can't get over the fact
that
they're
look like they're good looking uniforms.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
You don't even like the color red.
I don't give a shit. They're still a good looking uniform. Less is more. My point. They don't go fuck up the Raiders uniform.
I'm going to take your thoughts on and opinions on styles and matching and color concepts and Pantones and all of those other things.
All right, from Mateo Rodriguez. I wish we just go back to the old style. These are just dog shit. We agree, brother. I haven't seen one person come out here and say that these look good. The Packers have had the same uniform forever. They're awesome.
I'm not over here saying I like them. They're not that bad.
Are they better than what they just changed from?
I didn't like the parentheses, but I also didn't want them to go away from the orange jersey that they presently have. So yeah,
I like that when they went from every home game like the
it should
orange
be
rather than blue, and the blues to change up. I dig that.
Yeah,
but I'd rather keep what they were doing rather than this. Like this, when they went all orange with the blue helmet and the dark blue, that is a fucking clean ass look. That was way better than this. I just they look like they're trying to be like the Atlanta Falcons of the West. Like this is really gimmicky and ugly and like really like remember when the Buffalo Bills, I don't know if you remember this because you're probably like 4, but they were red helmets, really clean look. That they lost all those Super Bowls in those looks with Jim Kelly era. I know you don't know because again you were 4, but they changed to like this, all these different fucking blocks and stripes and triangles everywhere and fucking all these different colors everywhere, and it looked terrible. Than like the Atlanta Falcon uniforms with Michael Vick. His rookie year, first 2 years, they looked awesome, the old school Falcon uniforms. Then they changed to that horse shit that he wore the rest of the time. I mean, look, man, it's not that fucking hard. It's really not that hard. They sure are complicating it.
I think if they went to the throwback uniforms, that I would have been absolutely disgusted by them. East Coast Gridiron wants to know how you felt about the new uniforms for the Lions.
I liked them a lot, actually. I thought they were good looking.
Yeah, I think they're a perfect representation of what you want teams to do.
Like really clean, less is more. I love the black. But the blue helmets are fucking really clean looking. I thought the black lion, that's a good change up. That's the thing, like, have you ever seen, I know we the Bronco games we've been to, but you're a season ticket holder. Have you ever seen the uniforms, the black uniforms with like I can't remember if the numbers are like bright blue with orange outline or if they're orange with blue outline. I can't remember.
Blue with an orange outline.
Yeah. And then like it pops the fuck off on a black uniform.
Yeah.
The Broncos need a black uni. That would be, oh my God, would that change? I know it's a fan jersey, but that's perfect with the black pants and a blue and yellow stripe, or blue and orange stripe. Oh my God, it would look good.
I think because of the colors, because of the navy and the orange, that you have the propensity of it looking like a felt craft project. So I would like a black uniform, but I wouldn't want it to have all of the colors represented and have it neon outlined and all of that. I have a black Broncos jersey. I'm fine with it, but I don't like the blue letters with the orange outlines.
From Big Quiznos over on Twitch. Shout out to the Trench Guru himself. Thanks to you, brother. Everybody over on Twitch watching, we really appreciate you. We'll be back at 5 a.m. tomorrow on Twitch with the Dungeon family working over at 6-0.
You keep trying to drive the show, so I get scared because you're clicking on comments, but we'll move on. We have a couple other things here that I wanted to get to. I can't remember what else I had here. Oh, championship rings. You got to talk about your boys.
Oh, yeah. So, look, all my guys over at Michigan, Connor Jones, Drake Nugent, Reese Atterbury, all proud Dungeon family guys, got their rings. And I'm telling you, this is why we grind, guys. I mean, this is everything we do. Look at this. This is 1 year, too. So this is Reese. Reese went to Eagle Crest. Great offensive and defensive lineman. Played a bunch for Michigan on offense and then moved to defense this last year. And now he's in the transfer portal actually for his last season. But he's been there. He's won 3 Big Ten titles. All right. He's been to the playoffs 3 times, and now he just won a natty. He's probably got 20 rings. This is 1 year. So this is the Big Ten title, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the national championship. That's in 1 season. And that's why we grind. So there's Reese. And then if you like, Connor sent his, and then Drake sent his. Look, that's the case that they sent them in. I mean, that's some pretty special shit, man. I know they're just college rings, and a lot of people will try and minimize this, but good God, those are special. I've got 4 rings that are just conference championship rings from my time playing at CU back in the day. I never won anything in the NFL. So these become like priceless memento. You know, you can't replace them. And they're cool things that you can pass down to your kids if you want to, but this is why we grind. So big ups to Connor Jones from Palmer Ridge High School, Reese Atterbury from Eagle Crest High School, and of course Drake Nugent from Highlands Ranch, right across the street from where I live, and a kid who's about to get drafted high in the draft and be a great center for somebody moving forward. Hopefully the Broncos come out and draft Drake somewhere 3rd, 4th round, because they've got to replace Cushenberry, and he's a better player than the Forsyth kid. So, you know, we'll see it.
All right. Those are really cool. Those are actually really nice.
Oh, man. They're so big these days, too. The rings back in the day weren't as big as they are now.
They get bigger and bigger. The Nuggets championship ring is like by far something of
out of 2 rings in one, right? Like, yeah. You can slide it off and wear a pinky ring and the regular ring at the same time.
Well, I think if you take the insert out, doesn't it make the ring smaller or
something like
bigger?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're pretty fucking cool, though. I'll tell you that.
I get distracted by stuff like that. They're cool, but I also am like, it's just a lot of. It's weird to me that you like the rings of now compared to the rings of yesteryear.
I like all of them. Any championship rings are just kick ass.
Because of the prestige?
Well, you have to earn it.
Gotcha.
You know, like you can't go buy a champion. I guess you could go buy a championship.
I'm sure they're listed all over.
But you can't. Yeah, but that's another man's name on it.
True.
So, like all my rings have my name on it. So it's, if you want to wear my name, that's cool. I got jerseys with my name on them too. Somebody will wear that. You know, like that's the point, is you had to earn that ring. So it's, you know, I don't wear them much. Number one, because it's 20 years ago and my fingers are a little fatter than they were back in the day. But yeah, they're cool for pinky rings every now and then and shit. But these rings that these boys just earned are pretty special.
They're pretty special. What else did you want to talk about today?
Look, we don't have a ton to talk about, but tomorrow is a big day here on 0 to 60 on the Bleed Network. We've got the head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers and an ex-Buff, a great friend of mine, Mr. Ryan Walters. Coach Ryan Walters will be on the show tomorrow to talk about a variety of different shit, from NIL to the transfer portal to the new Big Ten, and, you know, just anything and everything that we can ask Coach Walters tomorrow, we will. So everybody get involved. If you've got any questions for a college football head coach, and a great man, great leader, a great friend of mine. I can't wait to have him on the show. And then as we go through the week, we'll just kind of dive into everything that's going to happen. Thursday night, the draft pops off. Obviously, we've got the draft party with Let's Talk Broncos down in Aurora. And then Friday, Saturday, the draft keeps rolling, and we'll have a lot to talk about moving into next week on Monday, not only with the draft as a whole, but with everything going on with the NBA and NHL playoffs, and also moving in now to getting ready for next season. Because once the draft over, you start OTAs, you start, the camps, you start really putting your team out on the field and seeing what you're going to roll with moving into next season. So I guess we can answer some questions here if you've got any. in the comments before we get out of here. But, not a lot to discuss on this Monday, so we'll wrap it up here shortly. But we got 5 minutes for questions.
Newski wants to know if you're going to hop in the net for the Mavs. They need anything out there, big dog.
Yeah, 7 fucking goals given up to Winnipeg. That ain't good. So you lose 7
on how many shots though? It's
21.
That's ridiculous.
So that's bad. I don't know if Gorgie was in. I think Gorgiev was in net last night, and he got shredded. This is kind of my thing. Like, I'm going to relate
23 shots.
23 shots. So okay, I'm going to relate it to like the Niners. Okay, the Niners are a dominant team. They have unbelievable skill players. They got good big guys. They got dudes everywhere, right? But they keep having to rotate their quarterbacks. And I'm not saying I'm not knocking Purdy. I'm saying if they would have had an elite quarterback this year, they probably would have won a Super Bowl. If they would have had an elite quarterback 4 years ago before COVID hit, they probably would have won the Super Bowl. Period. They're up by 10 in both games and they lose because the other guy has an elite quarterback. Well, I know Winnipeg gave up 6 goals because Colorado can score, but when you give up 7, it don't matter if you scored 6. So the goaltending for the Jets is top 5 in the NHL. I'd imagine they'll play better than giving up 6 goals. So now Winnipeg's coach can go to them and say, you played like we lost, but you won. You're up 1-0. You got the Hart Trophy winner in McKinnon. They are unbelievable on offense. McCarr's a great player. But when Landeskog and guys like that aren't on the ice and you're leaky at the goaltender position, you're going to struggle. And I'm not the biggest hockey guy in the world, but being around with the great Mark Moser as long as I have been, you just kind of absorb some of this knowledge. So I'd like to think that the Avs can at least push this to 7, but they're going to have to invest in a goaltender or you're going to get Ninered. Like the reason the Niners don't have 2 rings in the last 4 years is because their quarterback play is mid. The Avs lose this year in the playoffs. They have every other position on their team is 100% Stanley Cup worthy. Okay, their goaltending is not, and it's concerning because they let who was the goaltender when they won the cup that they let go to the Rangers?
Frankie.
Yeah, so when they let Frankie leave, that was like, okay, we'll just replace him with whoever. And it didn't work. So they've got to figure this out big time.
Wido Podcast says, everyone talks about when they have to play in Denver, they have to adjust to the altitude. As someone who lives there, what's it like when you go to play in low altitude states? One, you could run real far for a long time.
Yeah, that's true to a point. I also think that this is kind of it's kind of a head thing. I understand that the altitude is a thing. No one's saying it's not. I understand there's science behind it. No one's saying there's not. But it's also a head trick. Like there's 5280 plastered everywhere. It's on the front of the helmet now for the Broncos to remind people that they're at a mile high and you can't breathe here. But like when I played for the Jets and we came back to Denver, I wasn't dying. It was just another day for me. So
but you're from here.
Yeah, well then I guess I just don't know how to relate to it.
I think your body acclimates to it.
Yeah, but I was in New York for a year before we came back to Denver.
But didn't you have here's the other way to flip it. When you went to low altitude, didn't conditioning feel less onerous?
No, I'm over 300 pounds. Conditioning's terrible. I never understood this. I don't understand it at all. I guess skill players deal with this, but not fat guys. We're always tired, dog. I don't care if I'm at sea level and it's 105 degrees and there's humidity, or if I'm at a mile high and it's 105 degrees and there's no humidity, but there's no air. Regardless, I'm breathing heavy. It's hot. It's hard. I don't want to be out there. It's fuck. Can I go sit in the cold tub?
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I would say the altitude plays a part.
Oh, it probably does play a huge fucking part. You never know.
It does.
All right, we have to put this one in there. Toe Sucker 69. Matt, were you on the Broncos when they shaved a dick into Tim Tebow's head? Yes. Not only was I on the Broncos, but that was Lonnie and I. And we did it the year before. We did it to one of the rookies, the Blake Shelton kid, or Blake, I can't remember his last name.
You did that?
He's a rookie from TCU. We shaved a cock, a head, a hole, and 2 balls in his back of his head. McDaniels didn't like it very much. Lonnie and I thought it was hilarious, but it's okay.
I had no idea.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to cut a dick in someone's head.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's
probably wouldn't go over too well today in the super fucking soft-ass society we live in, but it was a funny-ass joke then.
Totally gotten soft.
It was pretty funny. Just because the fucking fan on the hill may not like it, I thought it was pretty funny. The guy that got a dick carved in his head didn't mind. He just went and shaved it. We didn't have to have any fucking like community outreach programs or like we didn't need to bring in a dog to pet it to make everyone feel better. And someone's feelings got hurt, but they didn't really. And it's all laughs and fun. It's just a haircut. Tim Tebow didn't get a dick in his head either. He got the circle. The circle.
The monk.
The circle. He got the monk. Yeah. Blake got the dick in his head. And I had something to do with that. And I'm not ashamed of it at all.
I'm not asking you to be ashamed. It's just like, whatever.
That's what it is, man. I'll tell you this. Motherfucker tries to shave a dick in my head, rookie or not. We're fighting.
What are you going to do?
The fact I'll whip someone's ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you've been in the league for 5 years and I'm a rookie. I don't give a fuck.
But it goes back. So nobody's feelings are hurt.
Well,
so why
yeah, but my feelings aren't hurt. I just take the advantage to go fight. Because I'm not going to do something that I don't want to do. So the fact that they let us do it, that's one thing. The fact that he may have liked it or not, I don't know. But I will say this. If I say I'm not doing that shit and somebody tries to do it, we're fighting. I don't care if they're a veteran or not. It means nothing to me. I don't give a fuck. Fuck your rules.
All right. I give a shout out to Tyler Riddle. Great show, Matt and Bree. Thank you again for subbing to the Pigskin Mafia podcast. No problem, Tyler. No problem at all. And Matt, what team are you looking forward to facing returning back to the Big 12?
Kansas State. That's my. I hated them when we played them. Tons of respect for Bill Schneider and his boys back in the day, but Kleinman and everything they're doing there, they're really on a roll. Stonebreaker, our linebacker from 6-0 in Douglas County High School, is going there next year. So Kansas State and Oklahoma State are probably my top two. I hate Utah. So they're coming with us, and it'd be nice to try and like beat them because we're going to play them pretty much every year. But like just from an interest standpoint, like I'm really interested to see if that UCF-CU rivalry could grow. I think that'd be pretty cool to have a little bit of bad blood with a team in Florida. But then also when the ACC crumbles, which is going to happen here shortly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 4 or 6 of those schools that jump in a 20-team Big 12. You know, everybody's going to go to 80 teams and eliminate the NCAA and all these things that are about to happen. I know it's a long-winded answer, but the Big 12 is my stomping grounds. It's way different than what it was back in the day. But if I've got to pick a couple of schools, I'm going to go old school just because that's the way I am. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, you know, Kansas and Iowa State can they can play each other, fuck them. But Kansas State and Oklahoma State for sure. The fact that they made Oklahoma State the last game of the year, I hope that stays consistent until Colorado State can figure out how to get in the Big 12, which I pray to God one day that happens. But I want Kansas State or Oklahoma State at the end of the year for the Thanksgiving game. Just that's a big game.
Why Oklahoma State?
Well, because they're an original Big 8 team.
Oh, gotcha.
There's so much history. Like if you look at the original Big 8, they're now that Colorado's back in the Big 12. You got CU, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Kansas, Iowa State. That's it. I think that's it from the original Big 8 that's left. And then, you know, Texas Tech and Baylor and, you know, teams like that, they joined in 96 when the Southwest Conference crumbled. So there's a lot of history with a lot of these teams. I do think when the ACC crumbles, though, we're going to absorb a lot of those schools.
Into the Big 12?
Yeah, I think you'll get Pitt for West Virginia because of that rivalry. You'll get like Louisville because of Cincinnati. They're right across the street from each other, that rivalry. The U, you know, I think Florida State goes to the Big 10 or the SEC. I think the U will stay in the Big 12 and be a in-state rival for UCF, NC State, places like that. You're going to, the East Coast is going to be, this will be a coast-to-coast conference sooner than later, just like the other 4 are. I mean, look at the ACC and they're coast-to-coast now with Stanford and Cal and SMU, and just the bigger conferences are starting to absorb some of these schools and try and figure out where they fit in, because you do not want to be on the outside looking in when they drop the gavel on the 80-team super conference and all the money that's going to be associated with that. It's going to be pretty crazy.
So is that the birth then of the super conferences? And does that mean that it'll die off for most of the smaller ones?
I don't know if it'll die off necessarily, but yeah, we're watching the super conferences be built in front of us. It's just taking a while. The Big Ten will go to 20 or so schools. The SEC will go to 20. The Big 12 will go to 20. The ACC goes to 20. There's your 80 schools, okay? Everybody else that's on the outside looking in, I've heard that they're going to do relegation, which is like the soccer model in Europe, where like the bottom 10 teams are dog shit. So like the bottom 2 teams in every conference, or let's say the bottom 3 teams in every conference, because there's, I mean, what would it be? 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Let's say they relegate 12 teams. The bottom 3 teams in every conference gets moved out, and the top 3 teams in every conference gets moved up. So when you look at the group of 5, when you go 12-0 at the American Conference and you win it, and then let's say, just an example, shitty team, the worst Power 5 team last year, let's say Vanderbilt. They play like shit in the SEC and they don't win a game. You elevate, like, let's say Memphis wins the American Conference. Memphis now goes in, Vanderbilt goes to the American, and you relegate it like that. Now, I don't know how that's going to work because of all the contracts and all the, money and TV deals and shit. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's what I've heard they want to do. I just don't see how it's going to work.
Yeah, I don't either. But okay, good information. I don't see any other questions that I want to get to today before we get off. So guys, we can just preview again who's on the show tomorrow. Yeah,
so tomorrow, man, we've got a great guest and the head coach at the University of Purdue, Ryan Walters. He went to Grandview High School, played with me at Colorado. He's a great friend of mine. I can't wait to have him on the show tomorrow to talk about all things college football and so much more. So don't go in, don't miss tomorrow's show. Make sure you set your notifications on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you go down, subscribe, pound the like button. Really appreciate everybody watching and getting involved. Make sure you follow everyone. Bree Maces 303 on all the different platforms there. And Let's Talk Broncos. And then follow me at 60 Academy on TikTok and Twitter and all the different platforms there. Check out the body bags, 60 equipment, the merch, everything. We're rolling. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Have yourself a wonderful Monday. And we'll be back tomorrow. Any questions you got for Coach Walters, we'll be able to answer them then. And have yourself a wonderful day.